Let's be honest. If the killings don't stop, the taxi industry is going to kill itself into obliteration, going to swallow itself into non-existence. That's what it means. Week after week, operators, marshals, and drivers are being buried. And the violence is no longer just about routes. It's intra-association now, fighting for power, fighting for disagreements. You disagree, those who disagree with a particular position should be wiped out. We're going to talk about this in detail today. But I want us to juxtapose this, link this to the Madlanga Commission. I must say that I'm one of those who were very, not too sure, doubtful about the decision by the president, to establish this Madlanga Commission. And maybe it is because of the history. Maybe it's because of the things that you and I know, right? But in the context of what is happening in the country now, we need to place the public transport system. We need to place the taxi industry. We need to unravel what this mess looks like. And we're doing this with an intention or hope that we can contribute towards restructuring and transforming the industry to become a service provider that is safe for 10 to 15 million people that are dependent on it. And somebody's going to ask a question, why are you so interested in the taxi industry? That's the right question. The only reason why it is so much in the top of the radar is because majority of the problems are sitting in that environment. And the reason why we have this problem is because the taxi industry is not regulated. I hear people talking about tax, that the taxi industry is not paying tax. Are the Bangladeshis paying tax? Are the Pakistanis and Ethiopians that are running the spaza shops paying tax? What am I saying? I am saying that the country, so don't start thinking that I am trying to justify that the taxi industry is not paying tax. I am saying that the country, SARS, has no capability at this point in time to collect tax from the informal sector. In actual fact, I want you to know, so as we have this discussion, I want you to understand that there's no difference between a spaza shop and a taxi business. The two are informal businesses until you regulate the taxi industry as the Department of Transport, as government. You are going to continue with the problem of collecting tax because the country has no capability of collecting corporate tax from the informal sector. It has no capability at all. If it had, the spaza shop owners will be paying tax, or corporate tax at least, as it were, but it is not because the country has no capability. So the discussions around tax must be buried. The only capability that the country has at the moment as it relates to the informal sector is the capability of collecting personal tax. And it's tax that they are paying for petrol, the tax that they're paying, when they buy their tires, tax when they buy bread. That's the tax that affects you and I. And until we understand that the problem of paying or not paying tax is not really sitting with the tax industry itself, it is sitting with the capability of the state. We will not be talking like uneducated people who just speak, out of nothing, just speak and throw words around. So let's fix that part. So the taxi industry is not paying corporate tax, but not everybody, because there are those who have registered companies. It's not a big number, but those who have registered companies and are operating a business like corporates, they are the ones who are paying tax. And that's why when you renew your license and all your taxis are registered under the company, you need to have a tax clearance certificate. When you want to buy a new vehicle under the new company, all of that, you need to have a tax clearance certificate, because that's how this whole thing looks like. So where should we blame government? We only can blame government that you have delayed to formalize the industry. What we need to ask is, what is the benefit of government of delaying to formalize the industry? But we must extend that question and say, is it really government that is delaying to formalize the industry, regulate the industry, or is the industry pushing back because they're enjoying to operate under the radar, that we don't know who the people are? So we're going to talk about very, very complex things today, but things that are going to scare you. And that's the intention. But one of the things that I also want to do today is to speak the truth to the industry, because the taxi industry is unable to speak the truth to itself. Okay? And this episode, I want you to share it with everybody else, especially the drivers, the marshals, the patrollers, the operators, because they must understand that they have a role to play in the actual transformation, formalization, and regulation of the industry. They know it. The truth is, Bafethu, without regulating the industry, we are going to continue running it like a mafia style. That's why you find the spaza shop owners, Kokasi Mole, you find that the one guy who owns a spaza shop at the corner is most probably the same guy who owns all the spaza shops in that same street. And that same guy is the one, Haukabula's spaza shop in the same street. They will do everything to try and kill you, not as in murdering you, but stop you from operating. They will compete heavily with you, including, trying to get all different, because if they have the muscle, they have a bargaining power. It means that they can negotiate a price, and they can play you out of the market through price. So we're going to talk about this, but we're also going to go into the dark space of the taxi industry. Today, I want to go into the dark place that is not spoken about, but that causes a lot of problems. And as we do this, I want us to go back to what I said in the beginning. I said I'm one of those who want to use this opportunity and say thank you to President Ramaphosa, for initiating the Madlanga Commission. Thank you. Because the Madlanga Commission is showing us what we would never have been exposed to as a country. Because the truth is that today, as we sit here, South Africa was almost gone to the dogs, if it's not gone already. What we are learning is that case of your brother, that case of fraud, that case of matter that you opened against someone, or the case that is stagnating at the police station, there's no improvement. We now know that it is a decision that is made by the investigating officer to prosecute, investigate, or not to investigate. We now know that there are cases that are removed from the roll because the IO will go and cut a deal with the prosecutor. It is happening in South Africa today. You are surprised why, when you get into an accident, a tow truck can tell you if you are, he can help you. You know, when the police come here, I can help you. That we can, if you are the one who's wrong, they can help you to be the one who's right, because they have a working relationship with. So the country is transactional. Everything that we do, it depends on the connection that you have with someone. And if you have a connection with somebody who's in a position of power, they use their position and power to influence somebody higher than them, so that the chain goes longer and bigger until you get to the top. The commission is right at the beginning, but already a picture is clear. It is clear that General Mkhwanazi was correct. And I think it is at this time where, as a country, we actually need to say, Mfowethu, you, General Mkhwanazi, you are actually the face of Fix South Africa project. Because it looks like some of the generals in the South African police services took the decision that, you know what, if we don't stand up, this country would be gone. And they decided, and he said, he's the brave one who said that I'll be the face. I'll go out there and go and present this thing to the people of South Africa, those that are employing me. He says so. He says that he came to us because we are the ones, we are the taxpayers, we are the actual employers. But we don't only employ him, we employ Brown Mokgotsi because by extension he's benefiting from some of the things that this country, some of the opportunities that we thought this country created. So we are in trouble. But what's the conversation I want to have with you? I am saying to you that as we speak, thousands and thousands of people just over the last 5 years died in the taxi industry. Majority of those cases are not being investigated. As a result, they are not being prosecuted, and the families don't have closure. It is because there is someone who made a decision that taxi violence is not a priority crime. Maybe I must declare as a person that I want to contribute towards saving the taxi industry, not in its current form, but in a form that's going to respect the people of South Africa, but respect the laws of this country, also respect the customers. That's the taxi industry that I want to contribute towards its saving. I am not a moron, so I am aware that there is change in mobility and patterns on how people want to move. And with the apps, I am aware, or the platforms, I'm aware that in that change, people now have different choices to make how they want to travel. It's the same as you walking inside the mall, and you can choose whether you want to go to Woolies, to Checkers, to Pick and Pay, or the other. Choice. Choice is a constitutional right and it must be respected and not negotiated. So the taxi industry is in trouble because it does not understand the importance. I'm making a statement, and I'm not saying it's an official position of the industry. Ukuthi aba-respect abantu abagibeli. Kwenze njani? Angiyazi bakhona abangithukayo lapho bathi wena ngicabanga ukuthi ubani anginandaba. Your truth is that you can't go on and disrespect people like you are doing. Number two, industry mele yazi ukuthi we are not your people. I'm a customer that chooses ukuthi namhlanje I want to use a taxi, maybe because of my budget or because of the convenience or whatever reasons, but the choice is mine. The only thing that you can do is to enter into a contract with me of moving me from point A to point B and tell me what the costs are. I give you the money and you perform your duties. That's the relationship we have. It is not negotiation. It is your obligation that you need to recognize. Okay? But you have problems that are bigger than life. The unaliving murders and conflicts is a symptom of a bigger problem. Every time when you start seeing them taking guns and pointing them at each other, you must know that there's a bigger problem. And as a country, we have not spent time in understanding that. Why am I talking about it? I'm talking about it because in the process of them pointing guns at each other, there are passengers and commuters that are losing lives in that process. In the process, when they have a conflict and they're fighting amongst each other, there are people who are not able to go to work because of that behavior. In that same process, when they decide that they're going to stop because they are fighting or they're going to fight tomorrow, there are people who are walking home and be exposed because of that behavior. It doesn't matter what the reasons are, but your actions are affecting us. And that's why we need to investigate and understand why you do the things that you do. So what's the point I want to make? What is the biggest revelation I want to make today? I want to give you today for free. I won't ask for money. There are people in leadership positions in the taxi industry as we speak who don't own vehicles. You are a chairman, you are a secretary and a treasurer in the association, but you don't have the vehicle. Because all the 10 vehicles that you have, you are fronting on behalf of the traffic cop and the police officer and your sister that's working for government. You are fronting for people who are not there. You are fighting for them and they are not there. And you are not an owner. And all you live on is just rental money. You are renting the license because you are a member of the associations. All your vehicles became old, aged up, and they were out of the system. So there's a lot of operators who are only living on the basis of the rented licenses. They are called by your name, but those vehicles are not yours because khona abantu obafakela ekhwapeni lakho. You don't have a vehicle. You are leading people who are who are making decisions on behalf of their vehicles, but you don't have one. Okay? The taxi industry seems not to be able to transform itself because they are trying to protect each other because Isaac, all his vehicles are old, and in actual fact, all those vehicles must be out of the system. But nobody is able to say kubabul sole ukuthi baba le moto zakho, they are actually old. Siyasaba nokukhuluma because if Isaac umdlalos hears ukuthi Isaac uthe imoto zakhe are old, then you know that then Isaac becomes a target. What does that mean to a commuter? It means now all of these vehicles that are unroadworthy, these vehicles that zilungiswa every day, these vehicles, every day, because they're not worthy. Ama windows awasebenzi, doors are falling down, ama gear awasebenzi. You know, this one says is the every time when we see on TikTok sizohlangana emathuneni type of thing. You know those vehicles. It is a real story, by the way. For you guys to think that it is a real story. No, it's a real story. So when government wants to deal with unroadworthy vehicles, the whole industry now needs to stop, because if ninga support laba, because they look at it as if government is saying is in fact government is targeting them. Government is targeting the taxi industry. We understand what the complications are of the industry, but let's accept the truth. The truth is that imoto zenu are not fit for purpose. You are holding on to this car because that's all you have. Let's leave the morality. Let's leave the morality, the reasons ukuthi abantwana bazodlani. Let's leave that part first. Let's deal with the first of the truth and the fact. Yoguti. Imoto, the way ingakhona as we speak, oga manje. That car is not fit for purpose, and we are yazi le truth. Right? But because you don't want to face your demons alone, imoto yako is not fit for purpose, is unroadworthy. We are not going to change umthetho for you. We can't when amapoisa when they are busy with your car and then you start saying, but imoto ka Chris also in our problems. You can't say that. This is what the industry said a few weeks ago. When the police, the GTI, went and worked on the unroadworthy vehicles, but why are you leaving the e-hailing vehicles? At the moment, it's not the best. It must go. Now the whole industry, the whole region had to stop. Because MEC goes up there and says that this is the MEC who says that no. You can't hold us hostage. You can't hold us hostage. Imoto, whether it's e-hailing or a taxi or even the bus, of bus companies. I mean, I've received a number of calls about Ipelecheng from the Val. Those buses are messed up. They are unroadworthy. When you go to the Pretoria site, I think towards northwest, there's NTI. Those buses are gone, are finished. Now, when the state wants to deal with unroadworthy vehicles according to the law, we want to say no, Tina as the industry. There's no industry. Imoto yako we won. It's not the motor, the Imoto association. Yako. That 500 that comes out of that money comes from you. So all of these things, because when auko ready, anyway, you can't even get subsidized. You can't get money from government. We are supposed to sit here and entertain these things that we can't do that. We can't entertain the fact that imoto yako haisebenzi. Please don't take us into that position. So we are going to be fighting over unroadworthy vehicles. We are also going to fight over the drivers. You are now starting uzenenye manje. Now you are busy with something new. You are now consciously as the industry employing foreign nationals. And yet 3 weeks ago, the National Transport Amendment Act just confirmed that drivers in the industry must now be vetted criminally, and we must know who they are. You are now bringing foreign nationals into the space. You already have a problem yourselves. You are bringing us people that we don't know where they're coming from. Normally, when they are in an accident, if they survive, they run away and we don't know where to find them. So you are creating problems for us as your customers. And it's hloniphe. And it must stop. Now, I want to go back to something I spoke about because I want to reflect something that is a problem. I want to reflect that the conflicts that we see in the country, in the taxi industry, because you are in disagreement every day, Nina, you disagree on everything. You have created 2 sub-industries. 2 sub-industries are created by you guys. The first one, sub-industry, is Hitmen. Instead of creating a cooperative to supply tires and petrol, and you've created Hitmen to focus on the people that you don't agree with. The second one that you've created is a bribery channel. That every single police officer, government official in the Department of Transport, licensing, traffic officials on the ground, they know that every day money for bread, money for cold drink they will get. They even make targets. They now know that on a day they can get 50 rands times 100. They know it. You've created a problem. You've created a problem, and I don't know if you know how to get out of it. The reason why the state, and I'm not saying the state is right, the reason why the state at some point decided, let's sit here because we don't know, they are dying every day. When you are investigating this case, there's another one next door, there's another one, is because this is how you guys have defined yourself. But what you've also done is that you have created space for mafias, abantu aba dangerous kakhulu. And the poor old men who were genuinely in business over the years are now afraid. You are even the way you're even analyzing abantu abadala. They don't know what to do with themselves. They are just waiting for the day that uNkulunkulu ababiz. But you guys can expedite that process, Nibabulal. What am I saying about the deaths of these people? I am saying that it should not be allowed that people be unalived every day like this. But the state has also neglected the industry for far too long. That is why today the taxi industry is a playground for criminals, is a playground for criminals. There's extortion going on. Your own members are struggling today to merely survive. But the membership fees and the monies that the industry or the association requires from these members, some of them can't even afford them. Others are giving all they have just to remain a member of the association. How do you do that? At what point do you analyze and say, out is born ukuthi ama members wethu? What is it that they can afford? Because the rank fee, the membership fee, renewals, and all of these things, I understand that the association must live. And the association requires money to live. But let the association not go on at the expense of its own members. Chairman, ngiyacela mfowethu, please go back. Check ukuthi ama members wakho, because some of them, they are like your kids. They are so helpless. If uchairman athi ngifuna logo, you must just run to just give uchairman whatever he wants. Oh chairman, ngiyacela bafowethu. Ngiyacela ukuthi you can do better. But we are going to help you. So General Mkhwanazi has revealed something. In fact, the Madlanga Commission has revealed something. It has revealed that the political killing task team that is spoken about so much. I know that some of you probably you're not following this. So there's a Madlanga Commission that is talking about the de-establishment of the political killings task team. This task team, amaphoyisa, ngase KZN, Eastern Cape, they always refer to them as the NIU type of thing. And I know that there's NIU, but there's this PKTT, yeah. The PKTT is actually capable of solving complex, very complex crimes. I'm here to come and tell you today that the crimes that are committed in the taxi industry are the same as the crimes that are committed in the political space. The same method of murdering people. The same method of murdering people is in the political space is also used in the taxi industry. No doubt. Because you have a hitman, you have a spotter, there are people who are paid by the industry just about noon. About noon. Yabalanda le emnambit. Lady Smith baletela. Because somebody does not agree with you. Now, as transit ringers, we have written now that we know, we've written to the National Commissioner, and we said to the National Commissioner two things. We are proposing two things. Sicela ukuthi all the dockets of the taxi industry, murders and killings must be transferred to the same way to the team Mkhwanazi. It's easier when we say that because Team Mkhwanazi, he's the leader of the PKTT. So we've requested that they must be transferred, not because of anything, because indlela that they use to solve crimes or this kind of investigations is hlukile from the ordinary police officers. That's why the president at some point decided that let's go, because in the Eastern Cape there are chiefs and kings that are being murdered. Let's take their cases and bring them to these guys, to the group Mkhwanazi. So we've requested now to take all the taxi-related murders and killings, take them to Mkhwanazi and Itimiak. Because Team Mkhwanazi has got everything. It has got forensic, it has got prosecutors, it has got inama experts. That's why if you check a commission manje, ba busy, ba check nama WhatsApp, angithi nithumela nama WhatsApp niyafonelana. Ba busy in the commission manje because they can find a lot of crimes in those things. Kukhona abanye la ekhaya ku taxi industry whose business is just to extort money. They are just extorting money. You can't stop if an e-hailing company or driver is picking up at the wrong place. Why don't you say, no, you can't pick up here, go? Always kukhona lo zongena emotweni ahlale naye ku front seat athi manje wenza njani. Angithi yabona manje boshiwe phela manje. That's extortion, that's crime. So we've requested the commissioner to take all of these cases. Why have we requested this? Because you must now know, Uguti, officially the public protector has been investigating, because we requested the public protector to ask Amapoisa, Uguti, why are all these cases that are related to the taxi industry not being resolved? Now the police have answered the public protector, I think on the 26th. Yeah, on the 26th. Yeah? No, on the 12th of September, the police management responded to the public protector to give reasons and what is going to be happening. It is official. I am not giving you stories. I'm not just talking about something. That's the truth. We are waiting for a final response, and I don't know if we say figile, because last week Friday we were waiting for a report from the Director General and the Minister of Transport to tell us, why haven't you been able to regulate the taxi industry? Give us the reasons. This information is sitting with the public protector. The public protector busy ngani as we speak. But all of these things are happening at the most important time, because now we know what we didn't know before. The guys that are now operating in the transport space, we will want to find out who are the officials that are owning taxis, who are the police officers that are owning taxis, who are the traffic officers that are owning taxis. Because angithi ikwapa does not change the ownership of the vehicle when somebody buys it. So we would want to know. We want to see the flow of money, where is the money going? But most importantly, we also want to know, because abo driver, your fellow members of the association also know the people that are causing conflict in associations. We have offered as transit ringers to say that if the police, the South African police and the intelligence community wants to use our app so that the drivers can give us the people of interest, extortionists, and people that are fueling conflict. You don't have to have evidence. You are just going to give a name of a person that he's collecting money or is doing whatever it is going to come into, and we are going to share that information with the police. Because the taxi industry needs to be saved. Why? Because it is the backbone of South Africa's economy. There are people who can only budget on the movement of the taxis because the buses are not reliable, the trains have not been reliable. The bus you start here, they say they're going to arrive at 9:15 and they arrive there at 10 o'clock and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm trying to illustrate to you that we are not just going to speak here and we are not doing anything. We are doing everything that is legal. Because the transport system in South Africa, it is going to serve our passengers and it's going to serve them correctly. So the app, the next version of the app, we are opening it up for the drivers because I'm a driver. Hey, they know a lot of things. But we are also not going to allow you as the industry to kill the father, kill the son, and kill the grandson. We're not going to allow you. Not in this day day and age of technology and artificial intelligence. It's not going to happen. So we have that kind of a platform and we're going to share it with government, we're going to share it with the police, we're going to share it with intelligence, just to make sure that those of you who remain and want to do business, because the taxi industry is a business, that those who want to do the taxi industry or operate in that space with dignity. Kona baba, Konama associations, they've been wearing suits. I've been to a few offices of a few associations. There are those that when you get there, you're not even allowed to come into that office wearing a cap. The level of respect and dignity from abantu abadala who have been running this thing for a long time. Figethina manje, sikhuluma isilungu. We want to push these old men out because we think that we can do it better. Yes, if the time for them to go out has arrived, let them go. But let there be the decency on how you take them out. But number two, you still have to have a conversation amongst yourself. How do you make sure that your routes, because your routes at the moment, you don't know the reasons why the banks are not financing the vehicles. Toyota will tell you that they're probably selling less than 200 vehicles per month in South Africa to date. Because the banks are no more willing to finance you. Nobody wants to touch the industry because your route, there's a route I know, there's probably about 1,700, almost 2,000 vehicles. Nizol. Because the people are going down, the number of passengers is going down, stagnating, people are not working anymore. So you are fighting for the same customer. There are vehicles that are coming from different routes that are encroaching and taking people from the same route that you guys has been given to you. Is there hope? Yes, there is. Yes, there is. So we are going to show you the letter. Then we will publicize it as soon as the National Commissioner has responded. and you're going to know that we're serious about it. We're also going to share with you the update with the public protector. Hopefully, we're going to do that with their office, because the public protector, the way they also do things, and they take they take forever to do things, but they do the work. We wrote to the public protector at the beginning of the year, and we are only getting traction now. So our people in the Eastern Cape, Matatiele, we know that there are people who are using money just like Ket Matlala. Just like Ket Matlala, who's using money to influence politicians, to influence and bribe government officials. They're doing here. They're doing it. Yesterday, SIU revealed that in Tembisa Hospital. They are even prepared to remove you from the face of the earth when we don't comply, or you're an honest official of government. They're even ready to remove you. Hope is coming. Hope is here, but change is coming, and is coming fast. Because after this commission of the Madlanga Commission, things will never be the same in South Africa, because we now know that those who have money have used their money to get wrong favors. And some stupid called Brown Mkhwanazi, unemployed, hungry, desperate comrade, who just happened to know the number of the minister and is trying to position himself as somebody who's a connector. He's just a runner, desperate, annoying guy who's asking for money every day from Vusi Matlala, because he's desperate. He doesn't. But when he presents himself as a connector. He's an ice boy. He just goes around and go get girlfriends for ministers and politically influential people. And we are supposed to take these people serious. Ice boys, they wanna sell you. I wanna speak to the MEC, or you want to, or how am I going to benefit? I am asking to meet the MEC. How am I going to benefit? I can give you the number. That's Brown Mkhwanazi. But we have subjected ourselves to this, and then what we've done is that we have elevated these ones who pretend to have money. In actual fact, they are money laundering, because they are cleaning money that they are getting from a lot of other wrong things. They clean it through the taxi industry. They buy the taxis, they buy buses. All of them, we are now being aware. And that's why we are now aware why they are using their vehicles to fund the ANC, to take the ANC comrades to conferences using their own vehicles. We now know what the truth is. The NIU is now aware, and the commission and the president is now aware, and something is going to be done. Aksana clever. About clever who are making us look like we must listen and take instructions from them. Their time is limited, it's almost gone. In this episode, we are saying the taxi industry has been infiltrated. There are people who are owning and leading the industry who are not even owners of the vehicles. There are government officials, traffic officers, and police officers who are owning vehicles and sharing the state secrets into the taxi industry, because that's where they're getting their money. There are officials of government who have made the taxi industry a pipeline where they get their money. When they want to buy bread, they call somebody, because that's what they have become. They are found in departments of transport, in licensing, and I'm not saying all of them. I don't want my friends and colleagues to start, making accusations that you are accusing us. But I'm saying, even co-traffic department, that there are those whose lives have been dependent on this. Look at what's happening here. Look at what's happening in Tembisa Hospital. People have become billionaires. They didn't even know what to do with the money. They buy vehicles, they buy houses, they don't know what to do with it. You're not going to do that with the taxi industry. You're not going to do that at the expense of passengers in South Africa. We are desperate. We use the taxi and the bus because we don't have means. And those of us and you who have had the opportunity to travel and be in other parts of the world, and you have seen how public transport operates in other countries, you know that we deserve better. But our problem is that we have been too silent and be too quiet about the truth. Stop. Find better ways of understanding the people that are leading you. I know that this episode is going to cause controversy because others, you are now going to start asking questions. Don't be reckless. They are ruthless. They will unalive you. Be tactical, ask the right questions, but soon, those of you who are already aware of the things that are happening on the ground, be silent. You can't show your face. But share this video. Ensure that everybody subscribe and follows us on all social media platforms. Subscribe on YouTube, because that's where this quality of information is seated. On other platforms, you're going to get snippets, and sometimes you're not even able to connect. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. My name is Isaack Lesole, Transit Ringers. We meet again. Peace.